Hey everyone, this is Chris here from Thrill Rides. This is like an unsuspected thing, but I wanted to do some research. I ended up actually doing a lot of research on this subject matter, and I went live with it because it's just easier to show screenshots. It's easier to talk about things than to pre-plan a long video that would take like 2 to 3 days. So SeaWorld today actually bidded $3.4 billion for Cedar Fair. Now, while many of you guys might think this is impossible, it's actually very possible, and there's a very likelihood that this could happen, that Cedar Fair might take this offer, and I'll go over that, and I'll go over a couple more things in this video. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the official documentation from MSNBC. You probably saw it on Bloomberg or other channels showing this. Now, some of the information that I was able to find out is that Cedar Fair actually is operating at a loss right now, while many other parks are reporting record third and fourth quarter earnings. Cedar Fair is actually struggling. They're not reporting that they're struggling, but there's some likelihood that they are struggling in some areas. Now, obviously, their top parks being Knott's Berry Farms, Cedar Point, Canada's Wonderland, Kings Island. Now, obviously, Cedar Point was open, Kings Island was open, Knott's Berry Farms was open, but Canada's Wonderland has been on and off for like the last 2 years. And then I believe Canada's Wonderland is their number one grossing park. Then it's Knott's, and then it's Cedar Point. So if you eliminate your number one grossing park, it's going to cause a lot of losses. And I'll bring up some Twitter statistics from In the Loop. He was actually able to come up with some stats that are pretty interesting on this subject matter. So you will see like on there where it shows like what Sea's made, which is SeaWorld Entertainment, and then what Cedar Fair made, which is, that would include, Cedar Fair. It's also called Fun. So C's is short for the stock trading quote of SeaWorld Entertainment, and then Fun is the stock quote for, or the public trading quote for Cedar Fair Entertainment. So let me go ahead and bring this up here. I find it very interesting. Feel free to comment. Feel free to comment, please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. I also have something on here that called Super Chat. Feel free. It helps support our channel in the future. If you're willing to donate $1 to $2 to $5 to $10 on that, we're going to have more live videos like this in the future and stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let me bring up the official documents on this, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to go ahead and read this out loud here. Let me go ahead and remove this here. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. And let me remove this banner here, all this advertisement. Cedar Fair says it's reviewing a takeover offer from SeaWorld that's reportedly worth $3.4 billion. Now, on this offer, Cedar Fair opened Tuesday at $50 per share and rose to $54.51. SeaWorld Entertainment actually offered $60 per share on this. So it's very interesting that the share was only worth $50. So SeaWorld Entertainment actually came out and said, you know what? We know your share is only worth $50, but we're going to go ahead and offer your share, quote, $60, or equivalent to $3.4 billion. That is a lot of extra money. That's $10 more per share than they would make if they sold the whole company outright right now with all the shares and everything that it's worth. So SeaWorld Entertainment is offering $10 more per share than Cedar Fair's share was actually worth this morning. Now it's worth $54.54. Let me bring that back up. $54.51. And here we go right here. Cedar Fair said Tuesday that on reviewing an unsolicited proposal it received from SeaWorld Entertainment to buy out the company. Bloomberg, which first reported the news, said the offer is worth $3.4 billion. The news sent shares of the theme park owner up to 10% above before trading was halted. So they're not allowing any trading right now. So if you have shares in SeaWorld Entertainment or Cedar Point, which I have shares in both of them, you will notice that if you want to go buy Cedar Fair shares or Fun Entertainment or SeaWorld Entertainment shares, they have halted both sales of either, because obviously it would skyrocket. A bunch of people would make a bunch of money off of it. and then they would turn around at the end of the day and they would sell it. Joanne Yates, will you be doing any updates on Epic Universe? Yes, I will. Go check Theme Park Stop if you want to see some updates on this after this video. She did a great update on it, and I'll have to work on a video on that because it's going to take a little bit of time because there's a lot of permits that took place on that. Thanks for asking that question. So yeah, going back to over here, it hit 56.69. So if I'm bringing up fun, so I'm going to go and bring up fun. It's trading right now at $55.50 currently. And I'm going to bring up C's here. That's trading at $60.38 right now. So very interesting on that. Yeah, it is very interesting. Thanks again. I'm going to go and bring up your guys' comments as we're doing this live because when we do the live replay on YouTube, because we're using StreamYard to do this, you will not see it unless I place it on here. Yeah, I find it very interesting, but like I said, Canada keeps on closing down everything, and then they bring it back up. So I know that Canada's Wonderland has made almost nothing on there. I know they opened it for a limited amount of time, but then they had to close it right back up again. And somebody mentioned to me that it might be California parks, but it's not California parks. California parks were actually open all year, even with the limitations and everything like that. California parks were fine. And then all the other parks that were open seasonally did fine. It was the park, it was Canada's Wonderland that took a huge hit because, like I said, Canada's Wonderland is number one in their profit margin. And I could bring up that, and I'll bring up the stats on there in a second on that. But the top grossing parks for for Cedar Fair Entertainment is not Cedar Point like everybody thinks it is. I'm trying to find out here. It'll tell me right here on here. Here we go. That's 2019. See, they're not even giving official information on this anymore, which is really odd to me. And it's no fun for investors. Oh, wow. Okay. I can't find anything on there, but I do know that that is their busiest park, I believe. Hold on. Let me look up another thing on here. Wonderland. Top. Cedar Fair Park. There we go. Here's the top 10. For money. Okay, whatever. Anyways, yeah, I can't find full information on there. I just know that information is out there that shows that what are those top three parks. So, like I said, obviously Canada's Wonderland is going to take a hit on there. I'm going to go ahead and bring up a Twitter feed here from in the Loop so you guys can kind of see exactly what I'm talking about here. I know some of you guys might not follow Twitter. So, hold on a second here. In the Loop. And actually, it was sorry. This is all live, so I apologize if it takes a second here. But there's actually information that came about on here. So Andrew Hyde. Okay, online Hyde. Let me go ahead and bring up his thing so you can look at his Twitter feed. He brought up some really good information on here. Here we go. And I'm going to bring up, let me go ahead and share the other screen here because you're seeing this screen. I'm going to go ahead and remove this one. Thanks for bearing with me on here. I'm bringing up his Twitter feed right now here. So you guys will see it right here. You can see it on the side. Let me know if you guys are able to see it here. So right here, and this is from Andrew Hyde. Go ahead and follow him on Twitter. He's really good at doing what he does. So I'm going to go ahead and go all the way down to here. Okay, this is 1 hour ago. 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. Here we go. This is the one I want you guys to see. So according to him, Cedar Fair Seas still isn't as crazy as you think. Let's look at numbers for quarter 1 through quarter 3. Net income in thousands. Seas, which is SeaWorld Entertainment, 102,000. Okay. Fun is Cedar Fair Entertainment. Negative 21,299. Cash on hand as of September. SeaWorld Entertainment recorded 553,000. Cedar Fair's funds are dwindling. It's down to 562,000. So there you go. There's some good information on that. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here again. And questions remain, like, did Cedar Fair actually handle the pandemic the way they did? Let's see here. So it's not as crazy as you guys think it is. But, I mean, here's the thing. If I'm being 100% honest on everything going on here with the SeaWorld deal, I don't think SeaWorld is a great company to take over Cedar Fair, and I'll tell you why. I hope SeaWorld doesn't get mad at me for what I'm going to say in here, but I've been to the parks during the pandemic, and they are short-staffed. The operations aren't where they used to be at before the pandemic. They've kept their parks open, but like for SeaWorld Orlando, for example, it's had varied opening times for certain rides and attractions. They might not have the staffing available. Granted, it's Orlando. They're struggling competing with Disney and competing with Universal, because Disney and Universal offer full-time jobs. SeaWorld Entertainment offers a small majority. Most of them are part-time jobs. Most of them don't pay as much as Universal. So you do have that. But I think Canada's Wonderland, it's caused maybe Cedar Fair to rethink it. I don't think they're going to sell, okay? I think this deal is well above what the company is worth right now, obviously with their losses. And SeaWorld's taking a huge risk right now on buying this company. So if SeaWorld is able to make this offer, they're going to go from a total of, okay, if you count the water parks, you're going from a total of like 8 parks, and then you're going to add on Cedar Fairs. I think what would be more viable is maybe them merging together and creating a business plan on a merger. But however, I don't know if that would be considered a monopoly. Well, it can't be considered a monopoly because we have Disney, who's huge, Universal, who's huge. Six Flags is pretty big. Combining these two together would make both of them competitive and make them align with basically what Six Flags has to offer. So I'm going to bring this mic closer to me here. So I really think in general that I think they offered a great deal, like I said, but SeaWorld going through various executive positions, getting a new CEO like every 6 months to a year to 2 years. Obviously, the people that own SeaWorld right now, which is a Chinese investment firm, probably have more money, more capital to buy and get a hold of, other properties. But like I was saying before, they are struggling on some areas that I've noticed. I noticed on their rides, they're not theming as much, probably due to cutting costs and stuff like that. Icebreaker opened, and I think they did a great job with that area. I think they did really good with it for being, delayed for a year or two. I think Iron Gwazi is going to do great for them. I think SeaWorld is going to do great. I think what Cedar Fair is not doing right, and I think costs are just through the roof. They offered the gold passes, but they're offering discounted passes. So the discounted passes, the gold passes, aren't as much as they should be charging for a park like Cedar Point. I think minimum you should be charging $150 to $200 a season at Cedar Point. But I think their season pass prices are way too low. And I think all that does is invite people in there that are just wanting to ride rides and they're not spending money. They have to figure out a way to make it up. Cedar Point is probably their top grossing park currently, and Knott's Berry Farms, obviously with Canada's Wonderland being closed. However, I don't see much investment being done. I mean, Kings Dominion's opening a free spin, whoopie doo. And there's rumor that Knott's Berry Farm might open a Giga, which is probably not going to happen. Let's be honest there. It's not. They're not going to open up a Giga in a neighborhood that's not going to allow a loud B&M Giga to happen. They would have to muffle the heck out of the sound, and I doubt the neighborhood authority is going to approve something like that. So you have that. Cedar Fair executives might take the money and run. I mean, but it has to be voted on by the stock or by the shareholders as well. So let's say the committee, votes yes on it. I believe, and I own stock, but I'm not like an expert at this, but I believe the shareholders have to approve the sale. Now, I'm not sure who owns a majority of the shares in Cedar Fair, but I imagine it's not any of us that own 1 to 2 to 3 or 5 or 10 shares. It's probably people that own hundreds of thousands of shares that are obviously on the board. So they have to look at a lot of investments that they've made. So they've made a lot of investments in Sandusky, Ohio. So I could see them, throwing back this deal and getting rid of some of their parks that aren't making them huge profits. Yeah, I mean, it's just like any other deal. With your comment on there, Jay, it's just like any other deal on it, really. So, just like any other deal in the industry, until it happens, it's not going to happen. But the thing with it is, this is more viable than it was with the Six Flags one, because Six Flags wasn't posting any type of good profits compared to Cedar Fair back in 2019. Now you're looking at a company that's probably struggling. Like I said, if anything happens, I could see that possibly Cedar Fair decides to reject an offer with a counter offer and offers, Canada's Wonderland, maybe Worlds of Fun, Valley Fair, parks like that in return and at a lower offer, because I don't see them getting rid of Cedar Point. But you never know, man. The industry right now, the theme park industry especially, it's rebounding like crazy. It's doing a great job on rebounding. And I mean, most parks are doing great. Cedar Fair obviously is not doing great. Cedar Fair has negative results. And I don't agree with their metrics on everything. Like I said, I don't think the gold passes are high enough. I don't think the platinum passes are high enough. SeaWorld Entertainment sells their passes at a higher percentage than that. And I think the fast lane's ridiculously priced over at Cedar Point. I don't think it's worth what you're paying for, $180 to $200 for one day for mediocre operations. The operations last summer in 2021 were not the greatest. I mean, I could say so many negative things about their operations too. So you have one company that's bad at operating a company, but their parks are decent, buying another company that's in the red. I mean, that's a huge risk. I don't know why they would want to take a hold of Canada's Wonderland right now, because who knows what's going to happen with that. And I think that, like I said, I think that's the majority of their losses is Canada's Wonderland. I don't think their losses are from any of the parks that are open. But I think we saw Six Flags rethink it, right? So Six Flags went around and said, you know what, we're charging too little for our passes. Well, we need to increase it, get better people into the parks to spend more money. I think their model is going to pay off. I know everybody was spoiled with that model, but whatever. Like I said, I think the gold pass is well underpriced. I think the platinum pass needs to be up a little more as well, because you're getting a lot more benefits. I mean, Cedar Fair parks are known to be world class. Well, not their smaller parks. Their smaller parks aren't well taken care of, but their major parks align with any other major parks in this country. So you also have going with this here. I mean, you have SeaWorld Orlando, you have Busch Gardens Tampa, both year-round parks. SeaWorld San Antonio, another year-round park. So I mean, then you have a company taking over another company that knows how to operate annual parks the proper way. However, staffing issues are been a major concern, like I said, at SeaWorld parks, especially in Florida. I mean, that's everywhere right now, but I'm trying to think if this deal happens. Obviously, we're not going to hear anything about it anytime soon. This isn't going to happen anytime soon. We're not going to know by tomorrow. But, I mean, this has been done before by Six Flags. Now, obviously, that was a joke because Six Flags was not operating at a good profit at that time. And I think Cedar Fair was worth more than that. And that would have created a huge monopoly on parks That would have destroyed SeaWorld Entertainment. So I'm glad that deal never went through. But with this deal, like I said, you are adding parks, but it's not to a point where it's going to collapse the other parks in the industry. I think it puts more competition on Six Flags if it doesn't happen. I don't think SeaWorld's that bad. I just think I think from a corporate standpoint, an executive standpoint, I think they're not where they need to be at. Oh, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Yeah, a lot of changes this year. So yeah, on this, don't take my comments or anything like that to heart. Anyways, I'm a very huge critic on certain things on that. Yeah, there we go. We got a big argument online going on Hyde's platform, and I totally agree with him on what he's saying because he's right. And I'm going to look at this one as well. This is a good talking point. The chains complement each other's strengths and weaknesses very well. SeaWorld wants to build resorts. Cedar Fair has experience. Cedar Fair has mainly colder weather parks and heavily focused in the Midwest. This gives them a diversification that they sorely need. I agree on that because SeaWorld is where? Yeah, a lot of people hope it doesn't happen, but you got to look at their standpoint. Maybe they will turn it into a merger and it won't be a complete buyout. And if it's a merger, you're looking at two companies that know what they're doing on certain areas that could develop a really strong company. The way Cedar Point handled COVID back in 2020 was horrible. Makes me not want to visit there again. Yeah, I totally agree. That was a bad mishandling of it. They offered these passes, the access passes, and with no, even on days that it wasn't that busy, and on return times, and if you went over your return time, they weren't honoring it. So that was a really bad, from a customer service standpoint, that was really bad. But I agree on this thing over here that Andrew Hyde said it, and yeah, that's the thing. SeaWorld does want to build resorts. There's actually plans out there that they want to build a resort over at SeaWorld Orlando. They want to build one over at Busch Gardens Tampa. They want to build one over at Williamsburg, one over in San Antonio, and one over in San Diego. That is actually been leaked online. I actually read something on there that there's plans leaked on Reddit. I didn't release it on this channel just because I don't like releasing huge rumors on that because it kind of pisses parks off. But I mean, in return, and he said here, even the way Cedar Point is handling dragster incident is very sketchy. Yeah, I mean, for insurance purposes and other purposes, I don't think they could fully disclose anything until the full report's released. However, what comes out in it, I wonder if it's a lack of maintenance. I think they're going to try to put blame on Intamin. And Intamin's going to try to put blame on the park, but in return, I'm hopefully the state of Ohio, and I think their department's located in the Department of Agriculture. I'm hopeful that the state of Ohio actually turns around and does a very thorough investigation because we know they didn't do a really good investigation when it came time for, I believe, I think that's the rumor. They didn't do a more thorough investigation on Son of a Beast. Could be worse. Cough. Six Flags. Yeah, I agree. See, Six Flags figured out this year that they don't want to be a discount chain anymore, and pissed a lot of people off. But I mean, if you look at it, they just invested heavily down at Six Flags Fiesta Texas in a drop coaster that's probably going to cost, I imagine, around like $22 million. And that's a big, heavy investment for Six Flags that's been probably adding, compact RMCs for a while that probably haven't cost over like 15 to 18 million, I imagine. But they're making investments. They want to do it. And here's the thing I've said for a while that Six Flags has really underpriced their season passes. I mean, I was able to get a season pass with like all the benefits, everything for like $18 a month, which is an extremely good deal if you're next to a Six Flags. Here's what Mike Parker said. A merger would be great. Cedar Fair has no parks in Texas or the Southeast. It's outside of Carowinds. And SeaWorld Entertainment has no parks in the North except for Williamsburg. Correct. That's why I said it would be a good merger for both companies. SeaWorld Entertainment is heavily needing a good CEO. Cedar Fair could provide that. But there has to be good leadership. And both of them, I mean, no park perfectly handled the pandemic. Well, I mean, maybe Universal did. Universal did a pretty good job on it, I think. But I don't think no park did 100% great job on the pandemic. I mean, it was a new thing and everything like that. But you know, luckily SeaWorld Entertainment doesn't own any parks outside of the United States. Six Flags owns a park in Mexico, but obviously that's still open during the pandemic. And then, like I said, Cedar Fair Entertainment owns Canada's Wonderland, and we know what's going on in Canada right now. They keep on shutting down the borders and opening the borders and shutting down places and opening up places, and that's not good for business. It seemed like Cedar Fair hasn't cared as much about the parks ever since the pandemic started. This could happen. Yeah, that is true. They haven't announced any investments. So, you know what I thought was kind of weird on this was that Cedar Fair did not announce any investments for the 2022 season, which is really extremely odd to me. And then we had that rumor surface about the Knott's Berry Farm Giga Coaster, which is still probably 2 to 3 years away, and a bunch of other things. But if you notice, out of all the parks, Cedar Fair only announced one single investment, and I believe the only single investment they announced was already known, which was the this compact 40 coaster that's going over at King's Dominion. Meanwhile, SeaWorld Entertainment, they are already planning in stages for 2023 season. They finally just opened Iron Gwazi, big investment. Icebreaker opened last week to really good fanfare. I got a chance to ride it. Great family edition over to SeaWorld Orlando. Busch Gardens Williamsburg, adding Pantheon. All their water parks are always getting additions. Then you have SeaWorld San Antonio in 2020 open Texas Stingray. This year they're opening up a S&S Screaming Swing. Over at SeaWorld San Diego, they're opening up Emperor finally. So, I mean, they are opening up because guess what? They are getting a return on investment and they're ready to make more money. Whereas the only park that hasn't announced anything for the 2022 season, and I'm including small parks, I'm including major corporate parks, I'm including Universal, Disney. The only people that have not announced anything major, Cedar Fair Entertainment. So I know a lot of people out there, I know we have a lot of viewers and a lot of people that watch and are diehard Cedar Point fans. Be diehard about it. It's a great park. But is it ran 100% correct? Absolutely not. Kings Island, a great park, but has Kings Island been treated the same fair way as Cedar Point has in terms of investments? Absolutely not. So this could be good, better for Kings Island, better for Cedar Point. There's a lot of good things that could come about this. Now, I'm almost done on this, whole rant and everything like that. But so let's see what here. Fiesta Texas did okay with the pandemic. I agree. And you don't have to agree with it. I mean, not everybody's going to like the idea of it. They're going to be questioning, well, should I cancel my pass? Should I hold on? I'm buying a pass. I'm kind of glad I didn't buy a pass yet for Cedar Fair. I was going to renew my Platinum Pass, but let's see what else. Let's see what else we got on here on the Twitter feed because Andrew Hyde's just going at it. And he's really good at what his knowledge on everything here. Let's see what we have here. Okay, we just have a bunch of people responding here. Let's see what his new tweets are. Okay, that was 100. I oversaid 1,000. I meant 21 million. I always forget the numbers on the stock quotes. So what I read to you earlier. So I read to you a quote earlier. So you look at this here. So net income would be 102 million for C's, and then $21 million loss for that, and then cash on hand would. That is correct on there, but this guy's saying that he's incorrect. 102 million was only for quarter three, and Cedar Fair was only 148 million. Okay, but still, what else here? Okay, so I mean, I don't know, guys. I know you guys are probably like, let's see here. So I got this over here. So let's see what else we got here on this deal here. Cedar Fair. I don't know what just happened there, guys. I have no clue what just happened there. My computer just completely exited on me. I do apologize on that. I'm back. Okay, see here. A big reason for the Cedar Fair has 0 year-round parks. Actually, they do have year-round parks. Knott's Berry Farm is actually open 365 days a year, so they do have one. And I believe California's Great Adventure or Great America is actually open all year long as well. But yeah, other than that, you're right. They do not have any year-round parks. But I mean, it doesn't make feasible sense to have a year-round park in the areas that you're located at. And you know what's really weird is that Cedar Fair never invested in Florida, which is extremely weird because it's an extremely hot market. Let me go back to sharing this. I don't know what happened with it. I do apologize, guys. Thanks for sticking with me on this. My computer decided to close me out of everything here. Okay, we're going to bring up the stock quote here. So Cedar Fair to announce 2021 fourth quarter and full year results on February 16th, which is, this seems kind of weird here. So we all know February 4th. So today is Wednesday. Or sorry, today is Tuesday, February 1st. So in exactly 2 weeks from now, and 1 day, Cedar Fair Entertainment is going to announce their fourth quarter results. It seems kind of funny here. So this offer's kind of coming in at a time that seizes SeaWorld Entertainment. This question down here, that's okay, Mike. And then what is Seize? Seize is the stock quote for SeaWorld Entertainment. But I found this interesting here. So SeaWorld Entertainment wants to know some insider information because they put this bid in. I don't know when the bid got put in. This is from people that don't want to disclose who they are. These are insiders. So they're announcing a bid 2 weeks and 1 day, or possibly more than that, from the fourth quarter results. Are we going to see some bad fourth quarter results from Cedar Fair? Because I know they diminished a lot of their hours. I know their parks kind of lowered a lot of their events. If you notice with a lot of their Winterfest events, they weren't open the same hours. They weren't open during the week. They weren't open. They had a lot of limited amount of hours. And usually the fourth quarter, some companies, the fourth quarter ends in like October. Obviously, this is a conventional fourth quarter, so it probably ended in January. I don't know when they're actual. Let me go ahead and read more of this here. It might be actually able to explain it on here. Mm-hmm. Now let's see here. Nope. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't give any information on there. But let's go ahead. Let's see if SeaWorld released their information on this yet.
This is for girls. These are the pink swim for ice creams. So these are for girls. See?
Okay.
It's for girls.
Okay, 1 second. Go ahead and give me your comments on here. I'm trying to look to see if SeaWorld's put their fourth quarter results on here. Hopefully it doesn't kick me out of this again. Okay, for the fourth quarter, revenue was this is in 2019. Yeah, this is 2021. I don't think they've announced their results yet either. But as you can see what I was talking about there. So, true about seasonal events. Kings Island Fright Fest was a nightmare. With hours they chose, Winterfest was a ghost town for the same reason. Yep. So, I mean, thanks for putting your questions and concerns and everything on here. And I hope I answer like any questions you guys might have, speculation. We don't have any more information on this. You're probably going to see a million videos come out tonight about it that are going to claim that they have more information on it. What more information they have on it, they really don't. And they're probably going to speculate. There's no chance in hell this is going to happen. That's nothing could be non-speculated against until you have a result from the actual company after it's announced. Obviously, they've halted both shares of the companies. Cedar Fair doesn't want to be open up to any questions. So obviously they're debating this and they're probably talking to each other and trying to decide if this merger could happen. So I'm kind of surprised. Like I said, I'm kind of surprised though that SeaWorld decided to bid on this before the fourth quarter results, because if the fourth quarter results are great for SeaWorld and horrible for Cedar Fair, then Cedar Fair could be actually, the bid on them could actually be lowered. Here, to be honest, this marketing stunt, I don't think it is by SeaWorld. I don't think it's a marketing stunt. I mean, they have nothing to gain from this. What do they have to gain from it? Like I said, Cedar Fair has announced 0 attractions and 0 coasters for 2022, which is not a good sign. So, I mean, 2021 was understandable because we were coming out of a pandemic, but 2021, most parks saw record profits and record attendance. So they easily posted their money back in 2021. Obviously, Canada's Wonderland is going to cause them a big loss on that. But why have you not announced anything? You've announced Compact 4D coaster is your main attraction for 2022. Granted, we all gave SeaWorld a lot of shit because they delayed all their rides, but they're opening up major attractions, not a 4D coaster. I mean, if you like 4D coasters, cool, but 4D coasters really aren't a major attraction. It's just a step above a Larson loop, in my opinion. But anyways, it's a great invention. It's a great compact model. I'm not dousing it on that. I'm just saying compact models really don't do anything in terms of attracting new customers to parks. But I don't know. Time will tell, guys. Thanks again for joining me for this live feed. I went over time at 45-minute video, so it says live 36:42. So I guess I've only been on for 36 minutes and 44 seconds. But thanks for your questions. Thanks for making this an interactive live show. Look for future live shows to come out here with any breaking news. I just think it's a lot more fun to have you guys involved in the process. It just makes it a lot more fun to do these live videos. But like I said, is it going to happen? Who knows? But I mean, a lot of things point towards the direction that it could possibly happen. So thanks again for joining me on here for Thrill Rides. Please like, share, and subscribe our future content. And if you're able to in the future, look out for our super chat. It helps promote and fund for future trips and experiences on our channel that we share with you guys. So thanks again for joining us. We're glad you guys like the reformatted version of the channel and what we're doing with this channel. Thanks again for watching, and look for future videos to drop down here on Thrill Rides and breaking news. Thank you again.